What's going on, everyone? I'm Tyler Shelton, and this is Coffee with a Beauty Reviewer. And today, folks, I have a continuation of my review series about the TV show Mandalorian. And this is about the season 2 so far, as it feels like that we're about halfway through now. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to give you my personal thoughts, how I feel about this new season. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with today's video. So this is my review series where I talk to you about movies, video games, TV shows. And so with that out of the way, I just wanted to mention to you that I'm diagnosed autistic, and I just wanted to kind of like use my own success story to kind of like showcase that there's always an upside for being autistic, either if you're autistic yourself or if you know someone who is autistic. But I'm using my platform just to give hope and just to kind of like lend my voice to all of you, just to give you my own opinions on this kind of nerd culture stuff. So anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And with that out of the way, let's get started. All I really can just say about this series is wow. I mean, just wow. It's just one of those shows that it really takes me back to kind of like how I used to watch TV shows back when I was a kid. So I really enjoyed just the whole concept that you had to wait at least a week for you to watch the next episode. And I just love it that they do it in this segment just with a streaming service, and there's no commercials, no distractions, and not only that, you can actually pause it and just watch it whenever you want. And so that is something so great about The Mandalorian. It really feels like a proper TV show manufactured for a really good streaming service, and it has no distractions. It's just a go with the flow TV show, and I just really love it for that reason. And so overall, I would have to say that this is just a big wow factor of a TV show. I mean, yeah, there are other shows that does this whole thing, but there's just something different about the Mandalorian. I mean, it feels familiar to me. It feels like I'm watching kind of like the better version of Solo. Like you're getting kind of like a blend of cowboy in space. That's kind of what Solo was meant to be. I think what they did is that they just looked at what went right with Solo, and they took what was wrong with Solo, and I think they just did a lot of improvements with this one. So I really think that Solo really paved the way for them to make like a cowboy space deal in the Mandalorian, and they just executed it just perfectly. And like always, Baby Yoda is so adorable, and I absolutely just love his name, that we actually got the chance to know his actual name instead of calling him Baby Yoda, because I'm going like, are we ever gonna get a name for this guy? Because we already know that he's at least like 50 years old. So, I mean, like, in Yoda's species, like in his own species world, that being 50 years old is just being a baby. And the fact that he actually died at the age of 900, just right in front of Luke Skywalker in the episode 6. So it's definitely clear that this is the same species as Yoda, but his name is Grogu. And when I first heard the name, I'm like, did he just say Goku? I mean, for a little bit I was calling him Goku, but then after rewatching it again, his name is Grogu, and I think that name is perfect. It sounds cute. It just fits so well with his own species. Like, there's only 2 other species of that kind that we actually know of. I can't remember what the other character's name is, but she was the counterpart to Yoda. So there was her, then there was Yoda, and there's Grogu here. So I really think the name is perfect for him, and I just really love it that they are really kind of like intertwining like the prequels and the original series together, because you can really feel that like there's weight to everything that is tied to Grogu, Baby Yoda. Like, you're getting kind of like both the original and the prequel series just blended in together and just morphs into this whole different story that we you're kind of like seeing kind of like a more developed story. Something that we really didn't get the chance to witness in the prequel series because like you got like this really great solid original series in Star Wars that was from the 70s to the 80s, but then you got the prequel series that was in the early 2000s, and it was such a big difference. And now just kind of like how they're just kind of like tying everything together, it feels like it's now really part of the same universe. Like I just really love it how they just blended it all together and they just made it like their own. And I think that that is the very thing that is a lot more fun about the Mandalorian because you're taking something that I watched ever since I was a kid. I mean, I first started watching the prequel series, but then when I'm all like, I want to watch the original series, and so the prequel series got me into Star Wars, but it was really the original series that I loved even more than the prequels. But and there are a few things that feels like it's kind of like leaning towards to the whole episode 7 to 9, the sequel series, because you're kind of seeing some Easter eggs that feels like you're watching a origin story about like what led to the First Order. You're seeing what is kind of like what is leading to the Resistance. So it feels like you're watching kind of like a origin story for like, oh, and I just have to say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing back Boba Fett. That his story is now canon. I love it. And when you get to see him wear his original suit for the first time ever since we saw him in The Return of the Jedi, it was glorious. Oh my gosh. I just could not hold in my smile. I was laughing so hard, but I just loved every moment of it. So, altogether, this is really tying up a lot of loose ends that is going to lead into probably a possible third season, which I really hope that is going to be the case. But so far, when it comes to the story, especially with Mando, Grogu, Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett, and like I knew that we were going to get Boba Fett ever since season 1, but I would have never guessed that we would get Boba Fett like this. But when he put on that outfit, you see him just demolishing, I mean, like, brutally beating up stormtroopers, and you're just seeing, like, it's like a blunt weapon, and he's just swinging it, and you actually see shattered helmets from the stormtroopers, and I'm like, damn! I don't want to be on that side. But it just made his entrance just so perfect. Like, this is just like the best way you can bring back Boba Fett. Such a beloved character. And so, it just got me so excited that I really want to see what happens with Grogu, because it feels like that he's starting to kind of like show a little bit of dark side in him, because you're seeing him do some force choking on stormtroopers. He's just flailing them around in the room, and they're all like, don't kill us, don't kill us. But then all of a sudden you see Grogu pass out because he was using a lot of the Force. So, yeah, he gets captured, but Mando teams up with Boba Fett. I can't remember this other character's name, but we all thought that she died by the hands of that one guy that was in the first season that Mando killed at the very end of the episode when he was on Tatooine. But apparently Boba Fett revived her, like he helped her survive by enhancing her with some machinery and stuff like that. So we're getting more of like these different kind of misfits. It's kind of like their own Star Wars version of Guardians of the Galaxy, because you got Boba Fett, you got that one chick, and then you got I always forget her name, but the other girl that Mando has gone to kind of like appreciate a lot, and then you got his buddy that is from the guild. So like you got like these different characters, and it feels like that they're going to combine together to save Grogu by the hands of the main bad guy of this series. And I really, really hope that I'm going to see a throwdown between Mando and the bad dude. And I would not be surprised if he's going to beat this guy and actually take the Darksaber, and that will be majestic. So, yeah, this is just how I feel about this whole series. I think it's just so captivating. Even the soundtrack, it feels like it's just keep on improving and improving. Like, it feels like I'm starting to feel kind of like that Star Wars aesthetic, but it feels something very new. Like, I can really enjoy that they were trying to kind of like give some little nods, kind of like easing in kind of like that sound that John Williams did for the Star Wars series, but the score guy, he's using his own flair, which I really appreciate. So it makes this show feel a lot kind of like a side thing outside of the Star Wars universe, but it still feels like it's Star Wars. But I just could not get over of all of the Easter eggs that is in this season 2. So far I'm going to say that I absolutely love season 2 of The Mandalorian. So, with that out of the way, I would give a rating of this series so far, a solid 8.5. So that was my review for episodes 1 to 6 for The Mandalorian, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very excited to see what happens next week. I think that's going to be a very big episode. So, again, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please press that like button. And like I said before, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps us out here. And so, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.